Good evening, Pretoria. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Night Gospel featuring myself, RoguePatton, and the main star of the show, my boy, Mondroid. Say hello.
Hi.
No, he's a lot smarter than he sounds, I swear.
Nah.
Mondroid, how was your week, buddy?
Pretty good. I have took down a couple tournaments on the alternate account, and
Oh, let's go.
I had a pretty good season, I would say. So
Yeah, your alternate account, it's what, Thogan?
yeah, I just call it Ugin.
Ugin. Ah, the T is silent. I like it. And
Ugin.
what is that account like built for? What's it doing?
Really, it's like gold foil silver level. I think they call it adept now.
Yeah, you're right. They changed everything up. No, the idea of running a smaller gold foil account actually sounds like really appealing, especially right now. Have you noticed in the tournaments, like the new modern, where gold foil's concerned, like how well are those filled out?
I'm not sure how filled out they get. I know you can pretty much min cash if you win like one match, so they're not getting that full, but
Yeah. Is
um,
it different from what it was when Chaos was in rotation?
maybe a little bit. Actually, yeah, I would say so because a lot of people, like, I think just relied on some of the gold foil conscript summoners they had, plus other reward cards and stuff, and then, of course, Chaos Legion was super accessible too, so
Yeah.
it was kind of like an easy way to get in those.
Yeah. No, it looks I was curious if, like, I don't know how many people were actually going into those when you were originally just doing your rentals and you could do them for a couple days. Like, I know I did that for a couple. Like, I'd look at the amount of people that were in it and I was like, if I just rent for CP, like, I'll make money just by participating, not like going for a win. But then when they changed that to season, I was like, I'm not spending that for that.
Yeah, that is another big difference there. There
Yeah.
used to be a number of players that I would just rent for the tournament and do pretty well and make a decent amount off of it.
Yeah. Yep. So looking at the leaderboard for last season, looks like you ended up. Where'd you end up? Oh, I'm scrolling.
Quite a
21.
bit down. Yeah. Well, like I
21.
was playing the last day, and I was pretty much just facing like the top 3 accounts over and over. I
Yeah.
was just trying to get more battles in and use my chest energy,
Mm-hmm.
so I was kind of just forcing it.
No, I mean it makes sense. I think that's generally where you get up to when you're there. I mean, the fact that these accounts were at like 7,000 points. Let's see, Lorcus with 600 battles, looking at 395 on the wins. That's what, like a 67% win rate. That's not bad. Like 400 of 600 is real good. So, and really it looks like that same win rate. Oh, actually probably even better with Hanvi. Hanvi's 293 over 427, so that's almost a 70% win rate. So, I probably expect these to taper off. Like, I guess where do you see it? Do you see those win rates coming down from where they're at, or do you see them kind of staying up there? Like, why 67? Why 70% on these win rates? Didn't, like, 60% used to be like you're a real good if you're at 60, right?
Yeah, but I think the gap between a lot of people's decks has just gotten a lot bigger. Like, if you don't have Max, Rick Loneman, Eleanor, and, some of those cards, like,
Yeah.
it's just so hard to win in certain rule sets, like...
Yeah, all three of these, Hanvi, Lurkus, and Maisie, were all clipping at 67% win rate. So winning 2, losing 1 for their entire course. And that's definitely, like, that's what I noticed when I was like, man, 70, $7,000 on the ratings, like real high. Because I remember like top 50, which is still almost the case. Top 50 is at 446. That's only 160 above the threshold for crossing into Champ 1, right? So, like, big difference between rank 50 and rank 1 in terms of rating. That almost seems impossible to get up that high because there's a huge drop from even 4 to 6. Brave Tofu, playing his own account, 427 over 750 is running about that, and that's 57%. Tofu was at a 57% win rate, which honestly makes sense. Like, I remember that being, pretty stellar. So, having
You'll get a lot of matches against people that just don't have max Conclave Arcana decks either, like that's where I'm at too. I still got a lot of cards to max, and so like just having a full deck right now is a pretty big advantage. Oh,
yeah,
and then like Heloise is just unbeatable in certain rule sets now, and like she got a lot better since the meta shifted because like Nidhogger and Squirrel are more playable, and they both work really well with her. Where you can give her the blast, you can give her True Strike.
Yeah, that True Strike on the retaliates is huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, so I mean, it looks like everybody else on the board's kind of clipping where we expected people to clip, like either right around that 60%. And really, that is the difference between a lot of the leaderboard, or at least what it used to be, is, whether or not you're at 56% versus 59% on your win rate or something like that. So seeing these 67s is pretty big. We'll see if they can continue into this season, or if maybe there was just an adjustment period that needs to happen. Or did some RNG aspects of the game get removed? That maybe used to account for a little bit more even play, So that'll be something that I'm going to be monitoring in the coming weeks. Is, as we're clipping along in these seasons, are there still people in Champion that are able to clip it like a 67% win rate? Because that's crazy. That's crazy. But congrats to them. You ended up here at 21. I ended up, I think, down at like 50. I think I was 51 is what ended. Yep, right there. Darn you. So, yeah, I ended up like right towards the end of the season, I started to have to make the shift over to my scholarship account. And so, I stopped playing there, switched on the bot for a while, and started letting that go just to maintain the account. So, but had a great first season. I think that's honestly the best I've done in a while, or at least that's the highest I've pushed in a really long time. I think I got all the way up to maybe, I think 460 or 470 might have been where I was at. I ended up at 446, but I'd never really pushed that high, balancing just wild botting with just casual modern battles. Actually pushing modern battles was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to doing that going forward as a scholar, But yeah, and then you said you knocked down a bunch of tournaments as well.
Yeah, I mean, mostly on my other account, took down a couple of the gold foil ones.
Good. Yeah, I guess you put out an article today, right?
Yep, we had that up, and if we want to go over that now, we can go into it.
That makes sense.
It's
Might
got a
as well.
couple, a couple things listed shown for that. So
Yeah, so Mondroid, if you're not following him already on Peak D, is real good for clumps of knowledge, and like really has lots of data that he ends up collecting on his own, and like in this one, shows it off for the world. So make sure you go out there, give this one a read. But yeah, this one kind of highlights your adventure for the first season of the new Modern. So wow, this is looking crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So I made a mistake where like the last day of the last season, I claimed and then let the bot run in survivor mode right at
Mm,
the end. And
mm-hmm.
then I started playing the new season, and my claim was still on cooldown for 24
Yeah.
hours or whatever. So instead of like claiming and resetting it and missing some data, I just kept it running. So that's why there's some survivor SPS there,
I
even though
got
it
you.
wasn't
But
even in.
978 SPS on like the final day of Survivor is pretty amazing. But wow.
Yeah.
So we've got 8400 SPS in ranked modern. Like congratulations, dude. And then in tournaments you ended up at 6400. Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's like the exact date the season went from the 15th to the 30th, but I figure I'd pick 15 days.
Mhm.
Yep, so that one was my best finish on Mondroid for the season. I got second place in the gold tournament,
Good.
Modern Gold League, so.
And then your alt account was able to pull in 5,000 SPS with a gold foil silver.
No, so if you look at the top, I actually explain how that account works.
Gotcha.
I've given it like pretty much all the conflict airdrops from Abellion. I have
Mm-hmm.
a second copy of those, so that's like Tofu, Cryptic, Nidhogger,
Oh, let's
Fang.
go. Okay.
So it's got like, some of the best meta cards maxed out. It just doesn't have the supporting cast. Everything else is silver level.
How are you sitting on your reward cards?
Everything is almost maxed except the legendaries. I'm still
Okay.
kind of pulling them in because I wasn't even pulling them for the longest time since that account was more glint limited. But now that I've caught up, I'm starting to pull legendaries, so
Okay.
getting some of those closer to maxing out.
Well, that's not bad at all, though. So, yeah, and then these gold foils pulling in quite a bit. So, yeah, after combining the winnings, you had 1,100, and then your main account was 16. So, like, in all, you got 27,000 SPS last season.
Yeah, between the two of them, for ranked rewards and then the tournaments when you add it up that way.
Wow. Good for you, man. Well done. About how many hours do you think estimated were you running those two accounts for?
It's hard to say. I don't keep a lot of track of it, but I have been playing quite a bit now again, so
Yeah.
you know.
I do know, because I'm in the exact same boat. I was reactivated, that's for sure, and now I'm trying to balance, what is like I got very lax, and then now I'm very heavy, and so I know there's got to be a middle ground again, and so I just got to find that middle ground. But yeah, dude, this is though amazing. 258 at today's prices, $258 for 2 weeks worth of playing a video game. And yeah, I like your little note here. Compounding that over 39 seasons, which is 1.5 years for the next set, gives you about 10 grand of rewards for the next set. If you just multiply what you did now. And so
Yeah.
that's interesting. Can you repeat it? And like what is SPS gonna be then? Because that's still, you're looking at 1 million SPS in a year and a half. That's pretty cool. That is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see it that way, or plot it out that far. And like as I get more seasons in the books, I'll have a different kind of average for it, going forward. But since it's just one data point right now, it's just like
Oh yeah.
extrapolate the whole thing
Yeah.
out for
How
all.
much?
It's like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Every
And
high
then
school
what?
math teacher's like, that's not how it works.
Right?
Like with this one data point, I can put this trend line, and you're like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, because like if you remember, I made a post about my like how I did for Rebellion, right? So I had
Yeah.
added everything up over the 39 seasons, and at that point, then I could include the airdrop and promos and stuff like that too. But for now, we just got the 1 week or one season of SPS earnings, so
Yeah.
it'll get better as it's like we're like 10 seasons in. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
nice.
It'll be a fun ride here. So
And if
yeah,
they
I
turn
would say
survivor mode back on, that could
yeah.
change my earnings too. So
Yeah, and that'll be kind of interesting if that'll be I you won't do it unless it's for the positive, right? But then like what does that do also I guess for the general players rewards too, how many of like the bigger accounts weren't really spending a lot of time in modern if they were running the survivor gambit, or maybe that's wild, instead of having
yeah,
your
lots
bot
of
running in
wild
wild, you're
stuff.
just running survival. But no, that's crazy, dude. Congratulations. The for the RoguePatton account is done now doing anything automated, or I'm doing anything manually. It has been put out to pasture. It has my entire Chaos Rift Watchers collection in Wild being botted, and what cards that I did have in Modern that I owned myself that were in a max level, those are going to be out to rent. And so between those two things, hopefully this account will maintain. But the main thing that I'm doing from here is scholaring. So this is going to be auto in the background. I'll be scholaring and earning money through there, and then building this with cards. And then as I purchase cards, they'll essentially just go right to the rental market until I get to the point where I have enough cards maybe to come back and play it myself. But I was listening to Bronze Dragon today. He was talking about essentially how he had to do like a reset, which is honestly like a great call of what he's doing. He had I think he was max chaos and all that stuff, and that's where he was playing diamond for the most part, and so what he did was he's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna reset again, and he's doing like gold foil bronze. He's gonna build that into silver and still playing manually himself. And I'm like, you know what, that's not a bad approach either. But for me right now, I'm actually having a hard time walking away from my knowledge of playing at the top level and not really cashing in on that value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. I think, there's advantages both ways, right? Like, if you can just bite the bullet and play at a lower league, like, I mean, that's kind of like an issue I have with my main account, where it's like I really just can't be super competitive anymore with the amount of investment that I have with it, But that's like kind of why I really like my alt account, because it's like I have a dang near maxed deck for those silver gold foil tournaments and lower, like
Yeah,
it
and I
has
mean,
got pretty much all the bells and whistles, so I'm like
yeah,
super competitive in those matches, or those tournaments, because
and
it's like in
knowing,
there I actually have card advantage.
yeah, you have card advantage, but then yeah, you also like just the knowledge of the game at that level. There's a big difference, in people. But I mean, I can probably just say relatively confidently that your main account is probably like more than double the cost of your other account or something like that. Because like I'm looking at your winnings and I'm like 16,000 versus 11. How much more money is in the main account to get that extra 5,000 SPS for the season? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I actually don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean,
The gold foils are expensive though, especially for Rebellion, so
oh yeah, and that's where, as soon as you kind of started sending me some of the data, I was like, man, I want to do that, but I'm like, I can't do that. Like you've been like the modern gold foil's been a thing for you for like the last year and a half, right? Like, oh man, if I tried to jump into that today, I'm like, oh man, I'd be paying some prices.
yeah, so I started it with Rebellion. I just said, all right, I went like 8 grand into the pre-sale. I kept pretty much all my gold foils, at least up to the silver level. So if I got like a ton of something, then yeah, I sold some of it off. But otherwise, I just kept everything. And then, I threw everything on wagons from both accounts. And then the conflicts were pretty generous for me too. I picked up almost every airdrop in gold foil, which and then for silver, all you need is one, since the legendaries start at level 2. And
Yeah.
it's been working out for me. But yeah, it was like a commitment, 1.5 years ago to just be like, all right, I'm going for these gold foils on this account. And
Yeah.
if I didn't do that, I probably could, just have all the bells and whistles for my main account. But it is
Yeah.
what it is.
And that's really the other part with all these, like, the pool for the other accounts is like, yeah, when they release a promo and you're just like, I got, dang it. It's like, it's $500 or something, and you're just like, gotta split it or like not go all in because I'm still supporting this other one. So that's what I'm most looking forward about my approach right now, is that I have it pretty streamlined to where, like, I'm going to earn with somebody else's cards and on somebody else's account, and then everything that I own is going to be on this other one account, but it's all going to be working passively. Nothing's going to be idle, land's still going to be going, modern or wild's going to be going, and then so are rentals. So I'm hoping that will be a better strategy for this season, or this set, the Conclave Arcana set, than it was in Rebellion, because I ended up not being set up after Rebellion like I wanted to be. So we'll see. We'll see.
And
but
then,
yeah,
the Rebellion you do have will be on the rental market, and that probably fetches a decent price, right?
it does. But I gotta let it wait for a while, because I'll tell you, one of the tools that I really miss is I really miss Splex.
Oh yeah.
God, Splex was an amazing tool that really helped to, like, identify, really where demand was in cards at their different levels, and really just kind of setting an expectation on price. You know what I mean, based on data. Right now, I feel like I'm blind when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this on the market for this because this is all that is on the market, but then maybe it doesn't move ever. Or I got this other one that's just flying off the shelf at this price, and I'm like, I don't, like, am I too low on this one? Like, I don't really know. And I wish I had that data still, like we used to have.
Yeah, it's a bit rough too right now with season rentals, because if you put something too cheap, like,
Mm-hmm.
you're you're not getting that back for 14 more days.
Yeah, but then, yeah, also same thing reversely. If you put something on the market too expensive, like, nobody's taking it because that bill is just so big to pay up front. You know what I mean? Like, that was what maybe, the daily rentals were a little bit more tolerable, because, like, you were only paying for 2 days worth at that price. Do it for what you need it, like, max out your, like, just run your energy for 2 days and then go into cooldown or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, knock out your brawls, knock out some tournaments.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, today that's not the case, and so I'm trying to still figure that out, exactly what that looks like, and then really where the liquidity is at for renting. Especially max. Like, are people going out and renting anything max level right now, or is all the rentals really more in the lower leagues? So that's what I gotta kind of keep an eye on, and I gotta figure out. But I did make another purchase. I feel like this is maybe going to be a weekly part for us. I do have another Conclave Arcana card that not playable, owned. I did purchase my Stampeding Calf. It is a max level gold foil Stampeding Calf. Bought it for, I think, $34 or something like that. That's generally, I think, the price that I'm looking for in the max gold foils is in that like mid 35, like $30 range. Um,
Yeah, it's
as
like a little under $1 per
yeah,
CC.
yeah, and that's where, for me, I think that's kind of my good price on that stuff. Um, Knowing that, I don't know, the floor on most of the commons is between like, I think they're all at 5 cents right now, which is getting you like maybe $25, I think, for the max. Um, but or maybe a little over 20. So, I know I'm within kind of the double range, but then also in like the mark of time today, that stampeding calf, if you bought it gold foil for 34, you couldn't buy it maxed for less than, I think it was 68 at the time that I bought it. So I was like, the regular foil option for max just wasn't even like there, you know. So I don't know if I'm, part of me, sadly I'm the collector, right? So once I purchase it, it's in my collection. I'm not really like a flipping guy. But part of me almost wonders if some of these purchases, that's really what I need to do, is just kind of reset that. What is a max level that you can get today for this card, and maybe make $10 off of that or something like that. But
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
problem I
I
have with
like
the
them.
main account is I am trying to get a lot of stuff in gold foil too now. Because, like, I bought a number of black foils and they're cool and all, but it's like I have this vision of like getting the black foil summoners, and being able
Yeah.
to have access to like these gold foil tournaments on my main account as well.
Phew,
But
that
it's
would
just
be.
like, yeah, I just ran out of money like way before I was done.
Yeah. No, I
So now
understand.
I just have this goofy account that's missing like all the rares practically, and I've got max like gold foil commons, and I got like 7 or 8 black foils that are maxed.
Yeah.
But then it's just like there's other cards that I don't even have at like bronze level, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other things that and then the other part is like, these are max cards, so like I got them now. They can go to the rental market, and like that's a card I don't have to buy. Like, it's boom, done, $34, done. I am actually really coming around to the like having a gold foil in your lineup for that SPS boost. I'm actually really kind of seeing that now. Now I'm running like these scholar accounts that are pulling in way more SPS than I ever used to. Like, the
Yeah.
difference between running promos and gold foils versus not is actually pretty big when you've got a big stake. So, I don't mind having these, and for me that 30 some dollar price seemed right. But then the other things that I've committed to in this game now, which is something that I haven't done in a long time, is I talked to the wife, and we've actually, part of our budgeting and financial stewardship and all that stuff is, every paycheck we always budget stuff. So I've actually budgeted $20 to go out of every paycheck into Splinterlands. So like every paycheck we're buying credits for $20, and that's something that I haven't done ever, actually. So that's like, I've been here for 4 years and I've never like steadily put in money. There's been a couple times when I put like a bigger dump in, like couple of hundreds, but
Yeah.
I've never been like the steady guy like I used to be for trading card games. You know what I mean? Like, you go to the trading card shop and you'll drop $20 while you're there, just because, whatever, I don't know, give me a pack off the shelf, I don't know, because I want to open up a pack. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
And then, so with that, I've also committed to like opening, I think I'm gonna open an arcane pack like every week or something like that. I think it's just something else that I'm gonna make sure that I'm having regularly as part of my routine. Honestly, just as a lottery ticket at the end of the day. I think
Yeah.
what they've created now for the chase, it is real. So for
Gotcha.
me, for me, I think the $4 every week is like a cool lottery ticket for me to get into. And then honestly, what I've been doing though is I've literally just been sending cards off to like friends that I have that are just dropping or just getting into the game, And so sending them like one BCX stuff that like really I'm not gonna do anything with is, like I feel like I'm actually helping them, and so that's nice. And then the other things that I did purchase, I had that SPS win from that modern tournament. I got about 2,000 SPS, and I turned that into the Arcane Skinwalker and the Grammel here. So ended up picking those up because I do believe the price on those is a little low right now. I think that's this is a really good card, and having it that cheap right now is pretty impressive, honestly. Oh, it's already shot up. $1.35 now, so it's no longer $1. So that's already a 35% increase on that price. Darn it. And Grammel, what is Grammel looking like? 21. I think I bought it for 17. Crap, they're on the rise.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But you need more of them.
Yeah, of course. Like, this was bronze level, but yeah. Oh, Run Kid is telling me real expensive. I mean, yeah. I'm in no way a whale, so I gotta start little. And I guess that was the other thing is, when I was playing all Rebellion, like I really didn't make any purchases because I just had this maxed mindset in my head, and so it really became like almost crippling for me to really just continue to drip anything into the ecosystem without like bulk buying something big, and I never really had the funds for that. So this is more of a way for me to get funds into the ecosystem, so that way, I'm actively participating all the time, and that way I'm also like building kind of as we go, for the entire course of CA. But congratulations on maxing both those promos. Did you max them at the right price, at the like the $1 price and the $17 price? Because I think if run over to Peak Monsters real quick, I think we can really see that price jump there.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking at the gold foil rares right now, and they definitely jumped from
Did they
the
really?
early days.
All right, so if we look at the week price, yeah, boom, look at that. 3 days ago, it was down to 79 cents, and then 3 days ago, 614 BCX. Sweep. Wow. And then 3 days ago, 614 were purchased and 191 the next day. And the price didn't change with, what is that? 800. Like 800, a little over 800 BCX sold to get the price from 79 up to 137. And then nobody's really moved on it since then. Like, it's been very little amounts of movement since then. But yeah, 40 BCX has sold at that 137 price. But woo, it's crazy.
Yeah, that was like just the correction that needed to happen, or that was gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll see if it sustains though, because I'm curious how much of that is then going to be flipped if it ends up coming back to that $1 price or something. But yeah, that was a good amount of cards that just got reset. So let's check out our Grammel now. Grammel. Let's see, same thing. 971 is where it was at, and somebody went and swept the floor on that one. Only purchased 12 though, it looks like. Oh, 4 days ago, 3 days ago. All right, so yeah, 21 BCX, 23 BCX, 0, 12. So yeah, it was less BCX to get it like reset there, but yeah, it went all the way down to $10. Wow, who did that? And then came up to 21. Wow.
That just goes to show you, man. Like, if you're not gonna go into the pre-sale, but you have your money ready, like, just buy like the first 2 days, everybody's ripping everything and dumping it on the market.
I mean, you're right, but then also, like, you're wrong, because my goodness, remember, this is, oh man, this was 2 weeks later, because I remember somebody was making comments about that. They were like, they were buying the promos at like 2 days after release, because that was what GBS and that's what Mantaroth did. So this like secondary dip in price here was such a shocker, honestly, that like nobody expected that price that late after this, and everyone was like, oh man, I overpaid for my promos. But nah, it was somebody just trying to free up some liquidity for something, because woof, that was a dump.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so
You
I
think
ended
that
up,
has something to do with people going, "Hey, this isn't Mantaroth. I just play him and he owns on his own," you know? Like,
yeah. Yep. So yeah, Run is telling us that Rebellion
cool.
Legendary Summoners are the roadblock. Yeah, I mean, but they're not obnoxious yet. And I guess that's really where, for me, this is still like a good time for people. At least, I mean, I can tell those that weren't here for the Untamed Chaos side that like this is nowhere near crazy yet. Like, you've
Yeah,
still
it's
got,
like, I don't know, it's kind of crazy unless you're talking about Untamed.
I mean, exactly, but like
Yeah.
these print runs are smaller than what Untamed was, right? So, I mean, Tofu looks like it's getting there, but really nothing else has moved so much. Cryptic is still at 30. A Kane, oh man, the fact that that's still $20, that's ridiculous. That's a very meta card right now. And then Nidhogg, like both of these, I'm dragoning all the time. So I don't know what. Oh, $500 for Lorcus. I mean, yeah, you're right. But I mean, also, like, there was a time when that was not a, like, $50 for the summoner was not a bad price. Wow, what were you doing for like Kitty and Llama and all that stuff? It was like $250 per BCX, right?
Kitty at the like height of it, I guess you could say, was like close to 4 or 5 grand. I
Yeah.
mean, really at the worst point of it, and other
Hmm.
times it's probably still like 3 to 3,500.
Yeah. Yeah, the interesting part about this price though on Lorcus is I don't think any of this is really speculative. That was just natural demand for like real players in that format that we had, right? So my main comment here in all this is that like Squirrel, Arcane, Nidhogg, Cryptic, like I don't feel like these have caught up to their true value now. You know, when I'm looking at this spread here, this was essentially the last modern that we had. Tofu and Lorcus were the best of the best, and I would say today there's a good spread on a lot of them. I think Tofu's still the best, but Mondroid and I have talked about the Squirrel quite a bit, and so, and then Cryptic, we've talked about the speed right now in Conclave Arcana, and so Cryptic is just obnoxious, and so why these aren't seeing these prices yet? Honestly, I expected everything to kind of rise up a little bit here, but I think there's still just enough people going into Conclave only that they haven't really dabbled into this stuff yet, but we'll see. But
Yeah, like obviously a bunch of people are like, I'm gonna go for the newest set,
oh,
you know?
exactly. And realistically, that was where, you know, like earnings could potentially drive sales here. And it won't be the diamond or the champ players that I think are really going to drive these sales. I think it's going to be like Silver League and Bronze. So like, because going into the data, that's where we can kind of like transition into this. So Splinter Stats, we have our first new season or new modern data of what everybody's playing and what is winning in the new modern. So if we wanted to start here in the breakdown, one of the things that I will highlight here is that the Wild League didn't have the Wild Pass. So there was an obnoxious amount of battles that were played in Wild. And so what are we looking at? 3, 4, 5, 6. Like over 75% of the battles that were played in Splinterlands last season were in Wild, which is kind of what we expected. We expected that to happen because we knew that transition from modern to the new modern when Chaos rotates was going to be rough on a lot of people. So honestly, we can kind of snap like this look here. We had 20,000 in Champion, 41 in Diamond, 34 in Gold, 30 in Silver, and 48 in Novice and Bronze. If we just go right to the one season back, we'll go 158. You see 20, 68, 67, 57, 55. Like way more, way less battles in that final season, but way more of them were in Modern. So we will actually see, because I'm very curious how many of these people that we lost in Modern, like what my account's doing right now. My account, my main one, is now going to go to Wild. But I can afford that. And I've already ran the math, and I know it's going to pull in enough SPS that, like, it's worth it for me to do that. How many people are actually going to make that call? Because I'm curious what these numbers are going to look like for this season now that the Wild Pass is going to be there, you know. But the main thing that I kind of wanted to highlight here is these legendary summoners still dominate. So if we're looking at Bronze, Nidhogg's got an 84% win rate. Eternal Tofu's got an 83% win rate. Cryptic's got an 81. Squirrel's got a 75, and Lorcus has got a 73. And a Kane and a Pruitt are both at 71, right? The best of the new summoners is the Dragon, which I feel like you and I both knew that.
And
yeah,
it's in Bronze.
oh yeah, it's at 70% there. Everything else of the new summoners is 60% or lower. So there is a clear like threshold of these legendary summoners in Bronze, but look at the percent usage. There's only 0.23% Nidhogg, 1% Tofu, 0.16 Cryptic, 0.28 Squirrel, 0.8 Lorcus. The majority of the summoners that are being played looks like Avena the Wolf is at 34%. You know, you've got your dual common summoners from Rebellion. When really, these legendary summoners are like a couple DEC a day in Bronze. So why aren't people renting and playing these summoners at this win rate? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
No idea. I haven't looked into it, so. But it's like, yeah, I wonder if the win rate would change at all over a larger sample size, you know. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But
yep, and then we've got monsters.
Looking at last season, you know, with Chaos Legion, is like we knew nobody was playing like most of those summoners. So
yeah, and so to see that it just kind of skipped, and it's like there's still not a lot of Rebellion summoners being used, and there's actually more usage on like the cheaper, the rares, the commons, and the new ones even. Fifth Blade, Kelia, Kavor, like those are all seeing higher percentage usages than the legendaries. But yeah, so it's I mean, honestly, that was crazy data, and I mean it continues. Silver is Tofu, Nidhogg, Lorcus, Cryptic, Pruitt. They're all above Shang, and Shang is like clearly a league above the rest where the summoners are concerned, or at least for this first season's worth of data. But yeah, your top one, I mean, all of your legendary summoners are your best win rate summoners. even in silver. Then that's when everybody else gets played. You've got Bladestone, Silverleaf, Skarn, Zedica. Rage is still one of the best. Eleanor Bravefoot gets a lot of play, but at an average level of 1.63. So even just playing a couple BCX of her is super helpful.
Yeah, that extra body.
Yeah. So then when we look at gold, same thing. Eternal Tofu, Cryptic, Nidhogg, Lorcus, Arcane. But now we're seeing a very high percentage of usage. So usage on the legendary summoners is getting close to maybe 50% of the battles being played in Gold League are being played with the legendary summoners. And so that's really the shift. The win rate doesn't change. They're still the best summoners, but the amount of usage from bronze up, like, is getting more. So now we get into diamond. Tofu's got a 22% usage at a 60% win rate. Cryptic, Nidhogg, Lorcus, Arcane, Elias Pruitt, it's all still there. And the usage is that's well over 50% for diamond. And then essentially what you and I were living through all season is it's all the summoners. It is just all of those summoners that we dealt with in the last season. Eternal Tofu is at 38% usage and a 55% win rate. Lorcus is at a 38% usage at a 53% win rate. So like those two summoners are making up 76% of the battles that you're going to see. Like you have a 3 out of 4 chance that you're going to face Tofu or Lorcus based on the data that we were running. Like, woof. That is crazy. But that's par for the course. Like, wouldn't you agree? That was what you experienced?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, it's like with Keelan Gaines, Lorcus is just super popular now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just pumping his magic damage.
Yep.
Super simple strategy there, you know, so.
Yeah. Yep. Cryptic's up there at 21%. The highest win rate of the new summoners was Kavor, because I mean, Little League Dragons, like, for sure, that's nice. But Razzie is up there right at a 50% win rate, but only a 3% usage. And that was one of the things that I for sure, knowing how powerful Razzie is, especially in a lot of those low mana rule sets, and seeing that like Zedica was getting the play or Dolfar was getting the play instead of her, like I knew that people didn't own that card, you know, because, or people are still like figuring out the meta, because Razzie just should get way more play than it does.
Well, it's like another thing you mentioned to it, you know, it's like even if you have the Razzie, which I do, you know, it's you might not have a max water diviner or, you know, a lot of the cards you need to pull off the gnome combo. So
yeah. Yep.
And like a new player, right? They get Razzie, but they don't have any of the like a lot of those gnomes are rebellion cards, the 2 mana, Daigen Dark, Surveyor, the you know, all of those I think are pretty much rebellion cards.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, runs over here. He bought Shang for 200, bought Gaines for 200. I mean, good for you. I'm glad you got Shang, but you said you can't ever want to play it. I mean, I've for sure, like, I mean, honestly, you need stuff to pair it with, you know, at the end of the day. Like, I've ran it before with Heloise, and that's pretty ridiculous. But that's $1,000 card, so
yeah.
I like the new resurgence monsters that we have, so the Greybrow and the water elemental guy, the abysmal elemental or something like that.
Yeah, the abyssal.
Yeah, he's really good. Rooney is really good. You've got some of your resurrect low mana guys, like your Aerobait in white. That's a good one to slap a poison burst on too. So,
You
you
could,
know,
yeah, you can get a lot of value off of those cards that come back multiple times, and then it's like you kind of need to have cards that come back multiple times, and then some amount of like sustain or ability to live long enough for the poison to actually do the work.
yep. Yeah, and then that's why Shang though has such a high win rate in the lower leagues is because there's just not enough health down there to sustain. So dropping poisons on the majority of unleveled up cards is just it's really good. So, but yeah, this was essentially the meta that we saw, and seeing these win rates though is pretty interesting. Like no summoner was really able to stand above the rest real big. I mean, Tofu being 38% usage, but a 55% win rate is that's not that good. That's just for me showing a reliance on just something that you've known forever. You know what I mean? Because you're just slamming something that's going to give you 55% win rate. Like, you might be doing something wrong. Squirrel down here is at
Well, part
49%.
of it is that when you're at a 38% usage rate, there's two tofus playing each other, and one of them has to lose.
You're
So.
right. You're right. So, yeah, this I think was interesting data for me. And then yeah, scrolling down and we look at the monsters themselves. Heloise the Hollow has a big win rate, 59% with a 6.2% usage. So that's pretty crazy for a card that there's only like 1,000 copies of.
Well,
So
like a 50% usage for the people I have to play against.
yeah, exactly.
I
So
hate that card, dude. I see it so much, and it's gotten so much harder to deal with. Um,
actually,
yeah, like we kind of talked about
oh,
earlier.
there it is. Bank of the Vile, 53% win rate, 46% on the usage. It's got 48. Hold on, I can filter. Let me filter on wins here. It's the top.
46%.
Look at that.
Nice.
It's just got the most amount of battles. This thing is being slammed into everything. Look at that. This Venka recorded. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
9,000 battles.
well, I
Nothing
can
is
speak to
close.
this from my second account where it's like, if I can play her, I'm probably gonna try to play her on that account because it's like there's so many holes in my deck on that account where it's like, my best bet is to just hope Fanka goes crazy before I die, you know?
Yeah, honestly, that's huge, but that's literally that's how you get to 40. There was 20,000 battles played in Champion Modern, and 9,000 of them had a Venka in them. That
Yep.
is crazy. And then I mean Keelan's right there. Keelan's there at 27%. It was the next highest. And then what do we got? Bravefoot, Moxie and Rebel, the Elder. Interesting. Oh yeah, no, that's super meta. Grimbardoon Smith, yep.
Yeah, the Elder you just slam in pretty much all the time because for
Yeah.
3 mana you get a swiftness and a strengthen. It's just like pretty
Yep.
much an auto include 90% of the time.
So looking at this data, it's pretty interesting. Clearly people tried to use Grammel, but weren't successful. 15% of the matches had a Grammel in it, but with a 44% win rate. So this was
Yep.
definitely everybody trying to play with their new
Right.
toy. And just didn't know how it worked. They were just like, it's big. It does a lot, but I'm not winning.
I'm gonna take that down as a note right here because I want to check next season if it's like played less, but the win rate goes up. You know what I mean? Where it's like I think people might figure that one out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and then honestly, just seeing, I mean, Grammel's the first one. Halfling Refugee is on here. Skinwalker actually has a high usage as well. And then, I don't know, the Dagon Dark Surveyor? Is that a blue card? Or is that a, who's Dagon Dark?
That's the 2-mana weapons trainer with magic. Well, not weapons trainer. It's a no attack card, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. All right, so that was
It's slow
Rebellion,
and
though.
reflect. Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, really, the top used cards of the new stuff are the promos, a Kane Skinwalker and Grammel, and then the Halfling Refugee got quite a bit of play. Taylor Swift, Inept Healer got in there. The new Jakala with a 60% win rate, or 58%. So, Jacarilla was doing very well. But yeah, for the most part, it's all Rebellion up here in high usage situations. So people just aren't really playing with their conclave yet. And that's really kind of what this is telling me. You're not playing with your conclave. And then yeah, same here.
Cards.
So Cryptic, Kane, yeah, they're not being played. They're not being played. So people are still figuring it out, but they definitely know what the old school meta does. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, the promos are pretty weak outside of when you gotta just stack them with the bloodline synergies, the bloodline tributes.
Okay.
Like, I don't use the promos a lot, but when I do, I tend to win with them just because it's like you gotta have like a plan and like know what setups to use them in,
Yeah. All right. So it looks like my Mary Put Magician in silver has the highest amount of play, which makes sense. I mean, that's kind of why I invested in that card. Is I feel like it was a very low level. It was a bronze and silver staple for sure. So I invested in that one. So it had a 23% usage, only a 51% win rate, but Halfling Refugee is high up there, 22%. Mad Ord Arcanist, Shock Trooper. Well, Shock Trooper's not a new one. So I think in silver we're starting to see a different mix. We don't see near the usage of, I mean, because honestly, I think without the trample, Venka's just not it, right?
Where is she even?
Nah, I don't know. I'd have to I'd have to control F to find a Venka. The Venka the Vile is at 1.9% usage, 70% win rate though. Average level was a 161, so we're talking about between level 1 and level 2 on the usage here, and still a 70% win rate if you were running a Venka in Silver League. So
yeah. Well, okay, yeah. So on my second account, like in silver tournaments, I play a lot of Venka because she's still got the solid, like just a high amount of damage, for what you're paying to get her.
yeah, she's definitely there. Keelan's one of those too. Like, I mean, before the double strike, I just don't know if I'm paying 8 mana.
Yeah, no, from a silver perspective, like I don't play him that much because, like you said, you can get a number of two magic guys for way cheaper than him.
Yeah.
And the phase and whatnot isn't like too big of a play down there,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would say the don't look near as unhealthy in silver. Like, we're not super loaded on anything, and a lot of stuff's being hashed out down here, so that's good to see. Usage still seems to be more cost oriented than win rate oriented, because there's a big shift between win rate and usage. So all the usage is down
For
here
sure.
in like the 57 to 50% win rate. And but if anybody, I mean, so there you go. Anybody watching that wants to take away a nugget of information, if you want to win, just go rent you some of the Rebellion summoners, specifically the legendaries, because they are still clipping and they're still good. And then to Run's point, you know, he was saying that bronze doesn't exist because there is no league limits, but you know, this data is actually pretty good at showing us like the average level of being used. So like this data here for silver modern battles, this 30,000 battles that were played, the eternal tofus that were played in this were between level 1 and level 2, leaning more heavily on level 1. So
that's pretty interesting because it's, you know, not even maxed for silver then.
yeah, no, it's not. And that's what I'm actually looking at this data, and I'm seeing it lean very heavy towards bronze, actually. And so I wonder how much that creeps into. Wow, look at here. So the eternal tofus that are being played at gold level are averaging between bronze and silver. So they're not even leveled up past that. You know, it just seems like a tofu can take you pretty far without being fully leveled up. Cryptics at 2.27, so that's at least silver level. Nidhogg's in the same boat that Eternal Tofu is. Like a level 1 or a level 2 will take you pretty far. And then that's when we get, I think Diamond is probably looking. Diamond's where we cross over into your gold level summoners between level 3 and 4 is what we're seeing right now. But that's because Champion is just holding them down. So like because of the amount of like rating inflation in the top 10, there's still quite a big ceiling in like champ 3 to 2. Like everybody can't progress evenly and make room for anybody to really sneak past, I think, gold into diamond without seeing some pretty leveled up stuff. But it looks like, though, you can take a bronze or silver. I would probably recommend a silver and play up pretty high on some of these summoners.
Well, one thing I will say about that for the first season data is that I do think a number of the liquidity bots were underpowered, and Eagle has been.
Did you actually see liquidity bots? Because I didn't see any this whole season.
Well, I don't know. I didn't play in silver for that, but
oh, you were saying
that's
okay.
what I was hearing is that it was people are getting pretty high because of that.
Well, I kind of expected people to get pretty high because there was going to just be this giant void that has to be filled. You've got the Rebellion players with their max decks, but like, who's in the middle? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like, that's where I think these legendary, and back running this full circle back to some of the original comments of like, does the price of the legendary summoners reflect that data that I just showed you? No, not at all. Like if you've got, this card right here, Nidhogg in silver gets you about the same. So Nidhogg's running at a 61% win rate in silver at between 1 and 2, and Tofu's getting you a 68. Cryptic's getting you a 63. So boom, boom, boom. And the price difference is 50, 21, 29. Like that's not.
It's just great in the lower leagues, kind of like how Sheng is good in the lower leagues, you know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you get those executes popping off way faster when cards have like 4 health. You hit them for 2, and then you execute for 2. So it's like
Yeah. No, absolutely. Ah, man. Thanks, People's Guild. I appreciate you. Warren Trex, congratulations on your sub that was gifted by Jangles and crew.
yeah,
I appreciate you guys.
Boy.
So yeah, I think the data, that's where I think these cards will for sure have to appreciate in value once more people get comfortable with the game and maybe start to do that approach, that reset, you know. Maybe there were a bunch of people that really don't want to stop playing and they have to reset their collections. Maybe they're going to go back to silver for CA and start to maybe reach for some of these, but But yeah, Shang's got a great win rate down in the lower leagues. It's a real good card. So, you got any other comments on the on our kind of like our first week's data or what you're looking for going forward?
No, not really. As far as, I mean, we covered that pretty good, but I think just going forward, I'd like to, some of the, it's just interested to see if some of the combos like around the promos and maybe some of the cards like Razzie and the other ones that people might have figured out a little bit more how to use them, and see if cards like Greybrow and all them kind of get a jump because they're just like exceptional, and
Yeah.
kind of hard to see at first.
Yep. It will be interesting to see how this goes from here. But yeah, so our first YGG tournament went off this week. And so to catch everybody up, our Mondroid and I both joined the firm. The firm is an on-chain YGG guild created by some of our old friends from Splinterlands TV. So Elephantium's over there. He's running it. Bobcard J is over there. Crazy Keyboard Kira is on that team as well. And quite a few others. I think Dave the Great just joined. And then, so they recruited me, I recruited Mondroid and Tails. So we've got a pretty big SPL team right now trying to do those challenges for the YGG Gap season. So we had our first exclusive tournament for YGG on-chain guild mates. And so I kind of wanted to go over that one real quick because I thought, one, that the team created a set of tournaments that were really good. Is they created these 6 tournaments that are going to run 2 novice, 2 bronze, 2 silver, and they're going to be CA only and modern only. And they've opened it up to where like you can participate in these without a spell book. So essentially what we had here was we had 128 people join this tournament. And what I would kind of want to do is I want to highlight here a little bit, like these are all some of your typical people that you would expect to see. But when you scroll down and you start to see somebody that maybe has like some of these YGGs in the name and they're bronze with no guild, those are new players. And specifically, if they don't have the light tag right here, that means those are new players with spellbooks. So this is part of that effort to onboard or to bring in new players that they've been talking about. And specifically from this YGG Gap season, what I've witnessed is during these events, like your game can be swarmed with players. So one of the things that I do want to do is I want to check out the dashboard real quick and see. Ooh, look at that. Look at that tail off in battles. So this is one of the things I wanted to see too, is like we went from all battles from that last season. We're now down to quite a bit, 459 or 45,000, almost 46,000 battles. Anyway, same amount, actually more modern battles now. So but Wild has just really come back since the Wild Pass is back under check. So very excited to see that come back in the line. We'll see where the SPS battles come in. But when we look at new players, this is one of the things that we kind of wanted to look at, is that we've had this kind of uptick in signups. So 218. So 218 players, 214, 178. Like, this was quite a big uptick there because of the YGG stuff, and they'll keep trickling in. And then there's this little bump here in spellbooks. We went from essentially like 2 to 4. We had a 7, 3, and then we had 12, 13, 14. So starting to see some of that new player growth kind of delayed turning into spellbooks, and I'd like to see that continue as people kind of move through the new player experience and start to like maybe commit to our ecosystem. And I'm hoping these tournaments really do that as well. But yeah, when we're looking through this, like these are new accounts, new people that are, in this tournament got 19th in a novice conclave only, went 13-7. Essentially, I would probably say with limited experience at that point. So pretty well, still not in a guild. So I would almost maybe make your way if you're trying to do some recruiting or you're trying to kind of look out for some new people. Maybe try to send a couple of these people that don't have guilds a guild invite if you've got room in a lower level guild that might, really be able to benefit these new players. But a couple of these, this right here was our first non-spellbook account that ended up 23rd. So everybody,
the light,
huh?
The light on the end, yeah.
Yep. So the first non-spellbook ended up being 23rd in this. So everybody else, we got one at 34, one at 38. So, and then boom, then Kira's here at 50. So what ended up happening was, like, of the top 50 that got rewards from YGG for this event, only 3 of them didn't have spellbooks. So I think that's pretty interesting. But one of the things that I did want to highlight was, I wonder if there's a gap here, because look at all of these people that signed up but didn't actually do anything. And so this might be something I'm going to kind of reach out for. Uh-oh. Why is he sending me black foil potions? Uh-oh.
Woody has a plan.
Somebody have a
Been
plan.
paying attention, but Woody has a plan.
Oh, Woody. Oh, my man. So looking at these, like, this is one of those where I might have to, like, kind of reach out, because these are all your non-spellbook novice people. This is people that just came in to participate in this tournament only, and they didn't come do it. So I'm wondering if there was a gap in communication or something here, because essentially everyone that didn't participate is your non-spellbook people, and we actually had a really big chunk of people do that. So this might have been a barrier to knowledge. Like, so 77 people at least got 1 win and submitted teams. But 78 people, or 78 to 126. So we're talking like almost 50 people, all brand new people, all with no real anything logged into this game, signed up for this and didn't participate. So that's a shame. I'm going to reach out and see if we can get that addressed. Figure out, one, why did it happen? I don't think it's malicious. I'm wondering if there's a barrier there. Because realistically, I don't think anybody would have really benefited from that so much, especially since the top 50 were already, like, guild players, you know what I mean? So they were already familiar with the game. They didn't need to be given wins or anything like that. So, but Mondroid, what'd you think of the tournament, man?
Well, one thing I'll say on it is, it's like, it is a novice tournament, right? So maybe people signed up and then we're just like, you know what, I don't really want to actually play that one. And we'll see them in, like, the bronze and silver ones. But, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to, like, reach out and see what everybody's thinking about that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say YGG did a good job.
To join another one.
I'd say YGG did a really good job of, like, incentivizing, because, like, each of these tournaments was worth 3,000 points for the YGG Gap program. And looking at the standard, like, points that you get for completing quests, this is on the heavy end, so just top 50ing one of these is worth your time. And I would argue, as, like, maybe as a new player, novice is the ones that you should have been paying attention to. It only gets harder from here. So, but all right, so what?
You've been accused of win trading.
Nah, that's what I don't. Bruh, it shouldn't be. But yeah, at least in our match, it was pretty good, because Bobcar J and I, like, we drew, and, like, we're teammates, and so it was like, yay. But, like, completely different teams. Oh my goodness, why? Woody, why are you sending me
All right,
packs?
so he says you gotta give me the alchemy pack, and then we're gonna flip and rip the regular pack.
Oh my goodness. Wait, what? Oh, so Woody's doing a flip it or rip it? Well, I mean, I guess, hold on.
Well,
Everybody
he
in the
just, you know,
chat.
for demonstration purposes, he wants to see.
Okay. All right, well, give me an idea here. Let's do everybody in the chat, let me know how many channel points you have right now. Like, I have 760. And so I'm just generally curious, like, where on these set points, like, maybe I've got them set, like, maybe too high. Like, I don't know if a flip it or rip it, or even if a challenge, like, I don't know. People might be able to flood our stream with challenges. I'm not entirely for sure, but yeah, Devin says Greybow is his favorite CA car, and it's not close. I mean, you're absolutely right, Dave, on it. Like, it is the best, 1,000%. So Woody says, let's do some flip it and rip it. So, yeah, Bob Car J's starting over. So, all right. So Woody's going to do one, and we're going to do this. All right. So the alchemy pack is to keep, flip and rip the other one. Wait, the alchemy pack is to keep, flip and rip the other one? What? Did you send us an alchemy pack? I appreciate you, Woody. You're the best. Fingers crossed. We are burning a black foil. I've had thoughts. All right, Bob Car J is at 600. Woody's at 510. Yeah, People's Guild's at 2K. But 2K, though, you chat a lot. So, and you're only at 2K?
Yeah, okay. It'll take a minute to get there.
So it'll take a minute to do a flip it and rip it. But also, it will, I guess, challenges might actually... I'm curious if you're like super active in the chat, like if you could even do a challenge like once a month, or if you would have to. Like, I was worried like we'd be generating too many challenges and we wouldn't actually be able to do a show, but at these points it's not terrible. But yeah, they're probably good at 10K. Otherwise, you would be burning 10 packs every stream. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if I'd be able to afford it. Honestly, we were gonna do it. All right, does getting subs bump points? Honestly, I have no idea, my friend. I have no idea. But I will check the settings and go from there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys and you're on the other side of the world, you guys will just have to jump on and check out the others. But yeah, Mondroid, you ended up 17-3. I mean, you did really good. I think our testing experience really helped us out there. I think we identified really where this meta was pretty early. Bob Car J, thank you for the sub, my friend. I appreciate you. Welcome. And thanks for the invite, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I appreciate you looking out and letting me know about the firm and bringing me in. And, like, I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome.
I followed him.
Man, you followed him. Good. Good. It's 3 a.m. in the UK. My man. Yeah, the +6. Ah, jeez. But, all right, so let's go ahead and run through this. Okay, so let's say I've got a pack. And so let's just say Bob Car J just used his flip it and rip it. And so I go and I buy a pack of cards, right? So we'll actually pretend this is reverse. Okay, the standard pack is going to be Bob Car J's. And Mondroid, you're going to be the Ripper, okay? So let's say, you know, you just cashed in your points and you want to do this, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this, and we are going to run it with the black foil potions, because I always will. I will for sure do a standard pack with the black foil potions. I'm not doing mass openings and everything, so I know the odds. I know it's a general waste of a couple cents, but when we're opening lottery tickets, that's what we're doing. We're opening lottery tickets, okay?
Or for the alchemy pack, bro.
I have enough, like, I can buy another 5 potions. We'll buy more potions. All right, like, I'm not worried about it. All right, so then, you know, what we do is we say, Hocus Pocus, we open up this pack, we get our cursor way out of the way so that it doesn't give away any information on accident. And then I will ask the person who did it, please pick a number between 1 and 5. So top left is going to be 1, and we'll go across. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then bottom row left 4, 5. So you go ahead and pick one of those.
I'll go with number 5.
Number 5. All right.
Whoa.
So then we kind of hover over this. It's nothing special that we can see right now.
Oh, man. That means it has the highest chance of being a black foil, though.
And it's a Calabash Sage. So essentially, then, I would ask us, like, all right.
You gotta burn it.
Do you want to burn it? Because we'll do this. You're a sub, so you can buy me out of this, all right? Do you want to buy this for the other half of the burn value, or do you just want to burn it and take half the DEC?
Let's just burn it.
Burn it! All right, let's see the rest of this pack. We got Stampeding Calf. We got hippos. Let's go. All right, if it's a hippo pack, what do we want? We want Aerobait. Come on, Aerobait.
Hippo pack.
Hippo pack. Ooh. Ooh. Could have ripped a legendary in this one. Ah!
Wow.
Let's go. All right, a Zargrel. Let's go. So that
black foil Zargrel. Wow.
So then let's go here. Let's go look at our card collection. And then we rip. Let's go cards. Conclave Core. Where you at, buddy? Goodbye, my friend. For 5 DC.
5
Burn it.
DC. Let's go.
Burn it, baby. And I'm gonna be honest, I think that's maybe the first burnt card in Conclave Arcana. That's gonna just be that's gonna be like a weird set point where they're gonna be like, wait, what happened? Why did somebody burn a card? Because, like, really, who's gonna burn a card right now?
I feel like we should burn the whole pack, dude.
What? That's not how that works. No, we're gonna.
As long as they're Woody's packs.
Yeah, we're gonna send the rest of these to Woody. Is what we're gonna do. So, thank you, Woody. We appreciate that very much.
It was a good demonstration.
Yeah, so that's essentially, and then whoever cashed in, the flip it or rip it. I mean, essentially they'll get DEC. It could be crazy. And that's really where it's like, I don't know. I think it's a good participation. Like, honestly, we could have accidentally ripped a legendary there. Or
I mean, if I said 3, we would have burned a legendary.
Well, or we'd have given the option to to buy out. And so that's really where it's like, where's Zargrel here? There you are. So this is 500, right? So if we burn this, it's 500 DEC. So literally a subscriber could buy this card from us, essentially, like flip it and rip it, and you would buy it from us for like 25 cents. Right? Because, like, if we burn it, we split the DEC, I get 250, you get 250. But, like, as a subscriber, you can literally just send me my 250 for this, and you get a card, a legendary card. And honestly, somebody could have also done that for the common too. Like, we could have just, send me 3 DEC and I'll send you the card.
I'm expecting that 2.5 DEC. But
I mean, honestly, and that's really where, though, like, at the end of the day, it is a card, and I actually totally expect to send more cards than I burn cards. Like, while we're doing this is more of like a open a pack and like you get to pick a card. But we do have that option, though, of like, if something does get crazy, like maybe we can't afford it, maybe we are burning some stuff. It's just, I feel like it's going to be entertaining. But knowing the majority of our people, we will probably be, Woody says burn them all. Okay, we're going to burn them all. So, start with the legendary. Bye, Zargrel.
Burn them.
Approve. See ya. I need all the cards I can get. Yeah, exactly, Bob Carr. And that's what, I will say, though, that's a pretty big, it'll take a while for people to cash in on that. But, like, essentially all that you're doing there, though, is if anybody cashes in on that, you are like 1/5 of a lottery ticket too. You know, like, so I think it's a good reach there. What were the other ones? We had hippos. Bye, stampeding.
Yeah, hippos.
Bye, buddy. I miss Splinterlands TV giveaway. I miss them too, honestly. I miss them a lot. They were a lot of fun, especially when there was some crazy stuff in those wheels, you know. It was absolutely nuts. All right, so then what was the other ones we got? Hippo.
I think
and then the rat, right?
Hero,
it was the rat too.
Yeah.
So overall in that pack, we bought it for 4,000 DEC, and we got 520 back.
That's pretty good.
All right, let's see. Where's our rat? Where's the rat? See you, buddy. Just remember, this was Woody's fault.
This is Woody's fault.
Oh, man.
He said burn them all.
All right, so now let's actually, how about we open that alchemy pack on stream? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's go see what Woody gifted us with. So, Woody, I appreciate you allowing us to kind of show that off, or at least what the you know, the intentions of that are.
The modified version.
So, all right, let's go first to the market. Let's go ahead and go other items. Let's see what our black foil potions are running us. 3 cents. Yes, we will 100% buy 5 of those. Or some DEC.
3 cents, huh?
Yep. I mean, it's all day. All day. I'm actually not using...
buying those for like 7 cents.
I know. Well, I mean, for the initial opening, man. Like, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go see where we're at here. Oh. Gotta close that one. They're all dead. Bye. And then, yeah, Woody, I'm going to send you that 520 DC. Or maybe I just spent that on the potions.
Yeah, we just spent that on potions.
All right, guys. So Conclave Arcana was the first set where they offered multiple packs. And so this pack specifically is 3 times the price of a standard pack. So it's a $12 pack instead of a $3 pack. And it is guaranteed to have a gold foil card in it. Some of the other increases in chances is black foils. I think it's like 1 in 40 packs with potions will produce a black foil. So realistically, we're going for a black foil here. That's our main. That's our main what we want here. So
You're
Woody,
telling me there's a chance.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. Ah! Nerve-wracking.
Man.
Gotta get that mouse out of the way. All right, Woody. Drop in the chat the order in which we need to open this. Give me 1 through 5. 1 through 5. Bet it's in here. One of the things that I was actually worried about, though. One of the things I was worried about is like if we did burn the black foil and
That
burn.
would be-
Oh. Ah! Okay, so absolutely hilarious. Twitch just went all like PC on me here. Woody tried to type a message that said, and burn the black foil, and it flagged it for burn the black. Woody!
Super
Woody!
racist.
You're pushing it, Woody. You got the algorithms on you.
Added permitted term. Oh boy.
I mean,
I'm
I
not
feel like
saying
it.
that out loud.
I don't need that. It's like as like an advertised acceptable term for our stream, but it is applicable in the context of our conversation. No.
Jeez, dude.
Okay. 42351. 4. All right. So, for 2. Ooh.
There it is.
Come on.
Oh, it's a summoner.
4, 3, or 2, 3.
I thought I saw an epic in there.
Yeah. Okay. 4, 3, 5. Alright. Wow, you nailed the gold foil. Okay. Number 1. Ooh, it's a rare. I mean, honestly, if it's a summoner, like, definitely made your money on this pack. Big money, no whammies. First. Let's go. 4 stars. Oh man. Okay. What's
good
that?
Card, good card.
What? I don't. Does anybody play that card? Let's go look at our rares. Let's go see what we got there.
It's an awesome card.
I bet it's the like bottom of the bottom. No, it's not. Look at. Oh wow, look at it go. Hey.
No.
How? Holy crap! $7 for a gold foil rare.
I told you they've been going up, dude.
Wow. Okay.
I used to buy them for like $4.
Yeah, that's what I
Now
remember.
they're like all $7, and that's frustrating.
And I guess that one's one of the $7 ones. Okay.
Nope.
And then I think the epics aren't even those aren't even really cheap anymore. What's our juggernaut running us? Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly, pretty close to the $12, pack value there. Not bad. Not bad. Thank you, Woody. I appreciate you. Woody, what do you want done with those cards?
You said
You
you
let
gotta
us know.
burn 'em.
You said we got to burn those too? You should listen to Mondroid. Wait, why do I have to listen to Mondroid? What'd I miss? Mondroid, what'd you say?
I said. I don't know.
I have to listen to you. No, keep them. Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you, Woody. Thank you very much. You've always been real good to us, and I'm glad you made it out to the show. Thanks for
Oh yeah.
burn Mondroid's back.
We can.
I will have to do that. But
I'm saving it for the next show. We'll open it on the next one.
Oh, did you? Nice. Good deal.
He gave me one, yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
We're
But-
opening it, and no matter what's in there, we're burning it.
You're a madman. I'm gonna be honest. I've had thoughts in the shower because that's usually where I do my thinking. But I'm like, man, what if we do open a black foil? And like, what if they're not a subscriber? And like, what if they're really adamant that we have to burn it? And I'm like, what do we do with that?
We rug pull.
I mean, honestly, I've had thoughts of like, man, that might be like, we might have to just throw that card in the Dow and just be like, look, we're going to donate this card to the Dow, and we might need to put this to a Dow vote because we've gotten over our heads here. Or we burn the thing. I mean, it could be content. Like, how much DEC would somebody get for that? If we burned one of these.
I mean, it's a lot, like 5x a max gold foil.
All right, so let's go look at all cards, conclave, black foil. So black foil common, stats. No, I guess
Like
where would it be?
22,000.
I guess yeah, I would have to look at the market. Black foil.
Yeah,
24,000. So I mean that's $25 worth of burnt DEC. So I mean like, I don't know. Somebody would come up with $12 though, right? To like I guarantee somebody in the somebody in the like they would just go buy a subscription right away, and they'd just be like, send 12, or somebody would do it on their nobody would actually let us do that, right?
I mean,
And no, Woody says if it's me, you will be burning. See, this is what I mean. There's some degeneracy in our community. I love it. We would definitely. Can you imagine? The thought crossed my mind. It was like, what if we pulled like the black foil arcane Yabba on the repeat, and we legit burned a 1 of 1, like specifically like his 1 of 1, like woof. I mean, it's possible, I guess. It's not a non-zero chance.
yeah,
oh man. Well, Mondroid, it's 10 o'clock. You got any final notes, thoughts, or comments for the end of our show here?
Not really. I had a blast, though. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, Woody, it's only the person that claims the points that has the option to buy the card. Yeah, I mean, essentially they're in control. They're in control, and I really want it to be them, and then and that's what I mean. I highly doubt like the community, like if it's literally like a new player that has no money, I guarantee like if Jangles is listening, or honestly if I'm listening, I'll send them 12,000 DC just to send it back to me, just to make sure that like somebody walks away. Because like that's in my mind, it's two things. Like, all right, sure, if we burn a black foil, that'll make some news and that'll do something, but at the end of the day, like if somebody wins a black foil on our show, that would be pretty amazing too. So for me, it's just let's open some packs, let's do some cards, but let's make it more unique than I've seen in the past. So let's give people the options like you to just burn it.
Show us your arsonist side.
Burn a black foil to buy 2 more packs to chase more black foils.
I mean, maybe not the best idea, but
it's not the financial advice I'd give if I gave financial advice. But guys, I appreciate you guys all being here and hanging out with us tonight. I want for you guys to make sure you're following Mondroid on Peak D, as he posts his videos or posts his content and everything there. That's a great place, get into his comments, let him know what you see, what your thoughts are, and then follow me on Peak D as well. I do snaps, and one of the things that I want to encourage people to do is throughout the week, I want for you guys to submit your battles. If you've had some battle this week that's like super big brain or crazy or something that you really want to share, like a play that you made that you're real proud of, or like maybe you anticipated what your opponent was going to do and you countered it successfully. Make sure you're posting those in Peak D, and tag Mondroid, tag myself, use the hashtag Big Brain, hashtag Splinterlands, and we'll go ahead and kind of pool all those throughout the week. And if we pick one to kind of show on the show, then we'll go ahead and send you like 1,000 DEC or something. But I want to see more of your guys' battles. I want to see you guys engage in the week and, thinking about like those big brain plays, thinking about, that competitive side and really tapping into that. Actually, Mondroid, that's something that we didn't even do. We had 2 battles queued up and we didn't even kind of talk about those. You want to run through those real quick here?
I mean, I can, yeah. I mean,
might as well as an example, huh? Because like I want to see everybody else's, as we go too. So let's go ahead and bring up your first one that you wanted to talk about here. Woody. All right. So what are we looking at here, Mondroid?
Yeah, so it's everyone's favorite back to basics, right? Which is typically just kind of spam as much magic and health as you can. But I had the bright idea of going with Squirrel here. And the reason for that is there's a Divine Shield at the rule set. And so one of the best ways to just remove everybody's Divine Shield is to have a redemption, right? So it just pop that 1 damage. wipes everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Squirrel with some of those super fast archers there. You got Rush Townsend and that 2-mana epic, I forget, that has crazy stats.
So yeah, popping
I also,
everybody's shields there. That was that's really good. And then yeah, you got like just so much speed there on these, and you're just able to absorb.
yeah, and you'll notice his life leechers aren't getting much health. Like that has 5 health now, because it
Mm-hmm.
keeps hitting the divine shield. It was close right at the end there,
Yeah, no, that was real tight,
but
but
managed to get the win.
yeah, popping those shields. Well done. Yeah, that's creative thinking. I think with those divine shields, that's always one that I've kind of looked at. Like Resurgence is a new ability that'll really kind of do that as well, but it also hits your own team. So you're just kind of making that commitment. But yeah, great play. And then yeah, really beefed up on some of these. Like anytime you're in these back to basics, all of your cards that have red abilities normally, like the burning or the electrify or even that new one, the relentless strike or reckless strike. It's reckless. Reckless.
Debilitations.
All of those cards have red abilities because they're naturally overstated. And so what they did was they had to compensate, or like they wanted to put those abilities on them. So to compensate for like a naturally negative ability, they overstated the cards. So when you go into these back to basics matches, you should like first thought, you should really be thinking about some of these like red ability cards. One of the major plays that we see often is the blue team running the watercolor and the water diviner, and so those are staples in kind of back to basics because they're cheap but really big magic attacks. And when you don't have that red ability, you don't have the consequences. So I actually I have a back to basics match as well that I was very happy with on this one, because this is one of those that, again, in the exact same way that Mondroid did it, there's a play. When you're in back to basics, and like in this case, it's wands out and scattered, like Lorcus is the play, 1000%. It's always the most logical play, because you get your magic boost, and then you also get that sustain, right? That life leech is really sustaining, and especially in back to basics, if it wasn't scattershot, throw it on your last couple guys. Oops, you guy. It my bot was running.
Oh no!
So it like took it out for
we
me.
both picked back to basic matches.
Yeah, no, it's but honestly, it's a good thing to kind of talk about, because you'll run into these enough, and if you're like Jangles, like you'll just never be good at them. So it's nice if you actually learn how to play this match and not just auto lose on those. But
Yeah.
but in this case, one of the ones that I ended up trying here was one. We had a scattershot rule set, so that kind of added a unique aspect to this match for me, because with the wands out and with the back to basics, I essentially made the commitment to go with Nidhogg and the execute function, because looking at rage, looking at this, the, oh my goodness, I don't even know how to, the Baraka, looking at those guys, there is no real silencing that's happening. I mean, there's the Elf Summoner new one now, but that's not meta. So I knew I could commit on 5 magic damage and 5 magic damage. So with Execute, that means that I'm essentially one-shotting any creature that is 7 health or less on the first hit. 6 hits or less with the Night Reaper. But the way that Execute kind of works is like, as we progress, it should outvalue Life Leech as we go, because essentially completely wiping something off the board is huge. There's 2 main abilities in the game right now that I feel are they produce way more value than what the game traditionally offers. Execute is one of them. Being able to get something close to death and then guarantee death it, or just like guarantee to get that kill shot in, that's huge, because if you don't kill it, it hits you again, and it could gain more life and blah, blah, blah. Lots of things that just naturally go wrong if you don't kill it. The other one is backfire. Backfire is huge because you get not only the miss, which is a lot of value in not being hit, but you also return damage to them. So you're not getting hit and instead attacking them. So like those are like the two main ones I look at in the game. But in this case, this is where like Nidhogg just absolutely nails these executes right out the gate. So I got 2 executes and turned this into a 5 versus 3 very soon. So another execute on the big one, another execute there. So like 5 executes, and didn't let any of the real life leeches get out of control. You know, so even after not one shooting in round 1, like even if I would have hit some of the other ones, knowing that by the end of round 2, if I miss one shots, everything from round 2 on is going to be one shots. You know, so that felt like a good play for Nidhogg, and it turned out to be true. So some non-traditional, big brain, back to basic plays for you. But yeah, show us throughout the week. Make sure you're snapping. One of the things that really irritates me right now is that on Peak D, Splinterlands is not always the top trending on snaps. Drives me nuts. So like when I'm looking down here, it's usually at the bottom of the list here, and it's not even there. It's not even there. Oh, Splinterlands is down there at 66. So it is down there at 66 on this list of topics. So it's right there at the bottom. I want to see that change. Like, why is there 174 snaps of photographs instead of 174 snaps of Splinterlands? Come on. This is our blockchain. This is Splinterlands blockchain. Let's go. Post your battles. Tag Big Brain. Tag Mondroid. Tag me. And yeah, we'll give you some DEC if we feature it on the show next week. But yeah, also, if there's anything else you're thinking about engagement-wise or something you'd like to see out of this show, just let us know. We're both very reachable people. Message us on Discord. Message us on Peak D. But yeah, other than that, we will be seeing you around. Last words, Mondroid?
Oh man, can't wait to do it again next.
Amen, man. This is fun. I appreciate you being here, and I'm glad that we're doing this.
And
all right,
shout
guys.
out to Woody for being a boss.
Yeah, Woody's the best. We appreciate you. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. If you're not following us, please do so. And we will see you guys next week. See ya.